The trailer for Season 2 of Umbrella Academy just dropped on YouTube.
Oh my God, again?
In this video, Carl and I will give you our complete analysis and compare it to the source material.
Everything in our new life is connected to the plot to assassinate the president.
Carl, I am so pumped. This trailer is amazing. I'm so happy you sent me a link immediately this morning. I've been obsessed all day. I went back and reread this, which I know you just read for the first time. So let's talk about it. First of all, hot takes, first impressions on this trailer.
Looks crazy, fantastically insane, but fun. A lot of humor, a lot of violence. It's going to be pretty gory, as the first season was, and the comic. If you're familiar with the source material, the trailer seems to be very different than the comic, or, a very loose adaptation. Certain storylines seem to be, I would suspect, to be similar to that of the comic. And the main one being the whole Kennedy assassination plot.
Yeah, I agree. My first impression of the trailer is that this is clearly, much like the first season was a very loose adaptation of the first graphic novel, this again is a very loose interpretation of the second volume entitled Dallas. And again, the main storyline in this book is that number 5, who is now a boy, as we learned in the first season of the show, needs to go back to 1963 to ensure that Kennedy's assassination happens, because apparently another version of himself from the past, who's actually an old man, is trying to prevent that from happening. So he needs to fight himself in the past to make sure Kennedy is assassinated, to make sure that events in the world happen as they're supposed to, and to prevent the apocalypse, I guess, to prevent the destruction of the world. I mean, it's an insane storyline, and that's why we love this show. I noticed a lot of differences and a lot of new things in the trailer just right off the bat. Hazel and Cha-Cha are a big part of this book. They're on a mission to kill number 5, but in this trailer, they're mostly absent. We do see Hazel, or at least the actor that plays Hazel.
Yes.
For a beat.
The end of the world, November 25th, 1963.
And he kind of gives a little bit of exposition, I guess, to 5. It's unclear whether that is Hazel.
Yeah.
Because he looks much older, but they're in the past. Yeah. It seems like the storyline from Hazel and Cha-Cha that we experience here, it was incorporated into season 1.
Right. One thing I noticed, and you probably noticed too, Justin, is the appearance of Ben in the trailer, which he doesn't appear at all in the comic. Maybe in the very beginning, sort of cold open section of the comic, but
yes, when it's in the past when they're children.
Correct, when it's in the past when they're children, but that's it.
I mean, what gets me excited about this season is everyone's here in this season. Like, it's not like the book where, Vanya was basically paralyzed and amnesiac. Rumor can speak. Ben is here. Even Dr. Hargreaves is in this season, apparently, because you see him at the end of the trailer at this tiki bar restaurant where they're having a conversation. How about we go through the trailer beat by beat? First thing you see in the trailer is 5.
Loser! Diego!
Skip, you're right.
He seems to be in some version of the past where the Russians have invaded.
The Soviet flag, hammer and sickle.
So you see the Russians rolling down this what looks like an American town. There's a movie theater playing Kiss of the Vampire. So that, I guess, gives us a year. And apparently they witnessed some kind of apocalypse event, some kind of Armageddon that they have 10 days to prevent.
Just want to say one thing about the trailer. I know we're going beat by beat, but it seems, at least if you go by the trailer, that a lot of it takes place in 1963.
It feels like the whole show takes place in 63.
Right.
Whereas in the book, you jump from time to time.
I would assume, since it's the DNA of the show, that they will jump from time to time, but
yeah.
Anyway, but the vibe of the 60s is cool.
It is cool. No, I'm excited for this to take place in 63. Looks like they're going to be dealing with stuff like hippie cult vibes from Klaus, civil rights stuff, maybe involving Allison. It seems like they've given Luther a completely different storyline in the book. And in the book, he's like you were telling me earlier, he's basically like Fat Thor. Like, he's given up and he's just sitting in a basement, like eating himself to death. In the trailer, we see him, it looks like he's prize fighting, maybe doing a little bit of Fight Club vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
And that Diego, it's hard to tell, but I'm going to guess it kind of looks like he's in a mental institution.
Right.
It kind of looks like he's lost his mind and he's made a friend with another patient.
Yeah.
And so that could be interesting. It looks like she's a new character and she looks really cool and she has a really great joke.
You are an open book written for very dumb children.
And Vanya's storyline is completely different. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going on with her in this trailer. She's driving with some blonde woman and a child in the back seat. So it looks like they came up with a whole other storyline for her. So that'll be interesting to see. Let's talk about the milkman, because I thought that was really funny in the trailer. You know, when I first saw this, I was like, who's the milkman? Like, what's this milkman character and, you know, these albino assassin guys in the trailer? And you reminded me, you're like, wait, no, he's actually in the book. I was like, what are you talking about?
It's like almost at the very beginning of the first volume, if I recall. Yeah. It was this throwaway joke in the second volume where Luther and Diego are arguing and he says, "You're so paranoid you probably think Mom is plotting to take over the world, or the milkman is an intergalactic assassin." Clearly, what the writers of the show did is they took that and fully realized it into the actual intergalactic assassin that was depicted in that throwaway line. Yeah.
I mean, milkman assassin, I'm down. Like, that's really funny. And apparently they're also like vacuum cleaner salesmen. So, you know, if someone knocks on your door trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner, you run.
They're not here to sell vacuums.
The other character I want to talk about that, like, I was very, very happy to see in this trailer was the goldfish. He's not given a name in the book, but he's referred to as Five's commanding officer.
Goldfish Head.
Goldfish Head is in the trailer. I'm so excited that he's part of the show because it's such a cool visual, and we'll see what they do with him, because essentially in the book he comes to threaten Five and force Five to prevent himself in the past from preventing the assassination of Kennedy. It's so convoluted. You know, if it's half as good as season 1, I'll be stoked.
Yeah.
Because, you know, season 1 came out last year in the midst of 3 different, like, anti-hero series, right? There was Umbrella Academy, there was The Boys, and there was Watchmen. And I liked all of them.
Me too.
But Umbrella was my favorite, personally, just because it was so fun. So I have high hopes for this season. I mean, the trailer is very promising. I'm very excited. And I'm curious to see what other people think. I'm curious, you guys, were there any things in the trailer that you guys caught that surprised you? You know, if there are other fans of the comic series out there that know it very well, like, are there details you picked up that were different or new or surprising? I want to go back and rewatch season 1 now.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that this is kind of like encouraging me to do, is rewatch season 1.
I think I might actually watch all of season 1 again leading into this, because this drops
July 31st, end of the month.
July 31st, folks.
Dude!
All right, so, okay, here's the
weeks.
deal. We got to watch. Are they going to do like one episode at a time, or are they going to do all of them at once? Like, Netflix usually just dumps the whole season.
Like they dump everything at once.
They dump everything. Okay, so here's what we got to do, Carl. We got to binge the whole thing and then come back here and do our review analysis of the season 2.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm totally down for that.
Well, that's it, folks. We're really excited about this season and about this trailer.
Absolutely.
We think it looks amazing, and let us know what you think. Are you guys going to be tuning in? And stay tuned for more news about Umbrella Academy Season 2.